Hey guys, it's Chuck Grove from Foraging Truth. I'm going to show you my weed garden in Pennsylvania. Let's go find out what I'm growing. Look at that. Most of these plants are over my head and they're all soaking wet from this nice early morning dew. Yes, we have goldenrod. We have an array. Well, there's blackberry. There's tree of heaven. There's all kinds of things back here, but what are we going to talk about today? We have so much. This is my weed garden. Look how far it goes. Way off into the distance, you can see that beautiful goldenrod standing up. No, we're not talking about goldenrod today. This beautiful medicinal plant can be used for many things. I'm searching out a specific plant. You see this plant right here? You can see that it's gone to seed. It's very tall. I'm looking up at it. This plant is well over my head. All right, guys, I'm in my weed garden, but I don't know if we're on the same page. It is not the electric lettuce or Satan's spinach or the devil's cabbage. It's none of that. It's this plant that's yellowing right here behind me. And this plant is Veronia altissima. This is ironweed. And yes, I'm showing you this later in the season. And yes, it is in seed. And why am I not showing you these beautiful purple colors that attract a lot of different pollinators like butterflies and stuff like that? We're going to get to that later in the video. Let's stick to the video and find out why I chose to do this while it's in seed. And we'll talk about a certain type of pollinator later on in the video. So, how can we tell we have ironweed? Tall ironweed. Well, first, the leaves are alternating up the stem. And it's kind of hard to show you when they're hanging, but they are alternating. So, let's go to the leaf shape. This leaf is lance shaped. It also has very fine sawtooth pattern. You can see that really easily right there. So we're going to talk about the lance later on in the video as well. This has been used medicinally in the past by different Native American tribes. The Cherokee used Veronia glauca and Veronia novaboracensis, and the Kiowa used Veronia mazurica. But this one, I don't know if it was used in the past. Maybe you can tell me that in the comments. So what has different Veronia plants been used for? Internally, hemorrhaging, cold, flu, blood cleansing, parasites, fevers. It's just a ton of stuff. And maybe as a tea and an extract and a lotion to apply to different things on external stuff like cuts, scrapes, burns, stings, stuff like that, even down to possibly snake bites and scorpion stings. The Veronia plant offers so much to your weed garden. You're going to bring in a bunch of pollinators, and the beautiful purple colors that this plant puts off, it is just amazing. We should be growing and making sure we have areas in our yards that have these medicinal plants that can be used. There are some major things going on in the world today, and what better to calm yourself with great pollinators like tall ironweed. Yes, the stem is another part of the identification. It's very tough. Let's see if I can get this on camera. It's like it has a dense, like, stick. And you could probably use this to get your cattle back in your pen if you needed to. Let's talk about what makes up these plants that we use. Let's talk about birds of the air, the pollinators, different things that help us, that grow directly in our yards, that we should be using for calming yourself and looking at how the pollination system works. And, you know, the pollinators that come in, they all tell a story. So if we listen to the story, sometimes it opens our eyes to what the world is doing. Let's talk about pollinators. So, in the story of the pollinator, the butterfly, we like it because it's beautiful. It flies around and gets a drink and pollinates these plants that, you know, create seed, and then the seed goes to the soil Some of them do. Some of them grow good. Some of them get eaten. Some of them fall on the rocks. There's a story in that. So, the pollinator itself, from a worm to a chrysalis to a beautiful butterfly, it's almost like a life cycle that is programmed deep into DNA. Like I've said before in the past, you have phones and gimbals. Moving my arm, but this gimbal does pretty good. Provided by Seth. I have to give a shout out to Seth. But this ones and zeros of a binary flat code, it's just two-dimensional. And then you take that and you take the DNA from this plant and it's three-dimensional lines of code living. And where did it come from? It's like looking at the words of a page and seeing the order and then saying, it just happened. Those words fell together on the page, and, we happen to have these plants that have medicinal qualities to them that help our bodies in this reality. That sounds like a lot of rubbish coming from people that, these rich elites of the world that want to tell you and brainwash you and program you with that. It just happened. It just happened. It came from nothing. It was big nothing and a big explosion of nothing. And, we all know that explosions cause order and not chaos. Isn't it amazing how when you get into nature, the world is quiet and God speaks. Jesus taught us that. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather in barns, but yet your heavenly Father feeds them. How much more important are you? He knows when every single bird falls. And you were the reason he created the birds. So, in this living line of code that the rich elites of the world want to teach you, evolution, that it just came, that we evolved. Maybe you've been fed lies. Maybe you are thinking in the way that they want you to think. Why would they worship a stone statue in Bohemian Grove with a cremation of care, mock human sacrifice, and then they come and teach us that we just came from nothing? They don't want you to believe the truth. The truth is, there's a God that loves you. And let's talk about the seeds, the lance, the pollinators, how it all resonates with the story of Christ. The worm eats the leaf, goes into a chrysalis tomb, comes out a beautiful butterfly. The seed that I've just planted in your brain that gives you life and beauty. The DNA that was written. And you might ask yourself, did it just come from nowhere? Or was the author writing? These are the reasons I picked the time to show you decay. To show you that life emerges from the decay, from the death. Guys, I hope you didn't think I was going to show you a marijuana garden here in Pennsylvania, because that'd be a little crazy. Look at these plants. Closely related to ironweed, goldenrod. Look at the beauty that's around you. Don't think that it just happened. Take that programming off. You're believing what they want you to believe. What they want you to believe. Our battle is not with flesh and blood. It's with something much more powerful than that. People that attack you, when you're being attacked, when the enemy's raining fire down on you like Leonidas and 300, that wall of arrows just coming at you. Remember, the enemy puts fire down on what is truth. And they will attack me for this video. I'm going to count it all as joy. So when you start typing, know that I'm smiling. Why would you attack me if the truth doesn't cut like a knife, like a two-edged sword? Guys, do some research. You'll find that weed gardens are the way to go. Big Pharma is not the way to go. Don't line somebody's pockets with your death. And make sure you start searching for the truth, because we didn't come from nothing. We came from something much greater than us. And that's what Foraging Truth is all about. So let the fire come down. God will lift me up. This is Chuck Grove with Foraging Truth. Keep foraging.